How long can a psychopath be nice? Just how long can they charm you before the mask slips and they reveal themselves to be the psycho they really are? A perfect opportunity presented itself at work to test an intriguing theory. But first, what is the difference between a psychopath and someone you merely dislike? The Canadian psychologist Professor Robert Hare has the definitive checklist. He says there are up to 40 nebulous qualities. Among them, the psycho will engage in promiscuity, be shallow, glib, conning, callous, remorseless, superficial, parasitical, lying, manipulative, lacking in empathy, easily bored. According to Professor Hare, if a person exhibits more than 26 of his 40 traits, that person should run, not walk, to his or her nearest psychiatrist. I suspected the new guy at work was a psycho, but also our future boss. I read that psychos can only be charming for a limited amount of time, but just how long? It was time for our annual works due. This meant all employees were going to be stuck on the road and in the coach for anything up to 6 hours. This bloke wouldn't be able to bail out. Now don't get me wrong, this guy was charm personified. For every conceivable situation he had a joke. He spoke to you as if you were his long lost brother. He'd only been there 2 minutes and already he was dating the best looking secretary in the place, who was also sitting next to him on the coach. Sure enough, when the coach trip started, he was the roadshow. Jokes, communal singing, communal games, all orchestrated by this guy. Surely this meant we had the greatest travelling companion in the world. Well, maybe. According to the theory, I wanted to see what happened when we got to the 1 hour mark. And surely enough, about the 1 hour mark, he started to slow down. Now you may say even a professional entertainer would slow down after an hour. True, but I sense he wasn't just tired. There was tension, fatigue, even stress. At the 1 hour 15 minute mark, he started to lapse into introspective silences. He'd occasionally get up for another round of matiness, but I sense he was starting to resent his audience. Why don't we entertain ourselves, even though we hadn't asked him to be our MC? At 1 hour 30 minutes, the jokes were getting nasty. He started to make jokes about his girlfriend's weight and her constant snacking, only they didn't feel like jokes. At approximately 2 hours 10 minutes, his girlfriend got up and moved to an empty seat. They didn't speak for the rest of the journey. I don't know what triggered that. This guy did become our boss, but he didn't last long. He said something highly inappropriate to a young female employee. The theory is the psycho can't be charming for more than 2 hours before the mask slips. The stress of being in a place where he couldn't bail out caused him chronic fatigue, stress, even hostility. Scientists say that in a normal working environment where people are coming and going and hot seating, it can take anything up to 4 months before the red flags start to show with a psychopath. So this 2 hour benchmark has to be taken with a pinch of salt, but it may be all we have in what is usually an unfair fight. In the UK, it's estimated that 1 in 200 are psychopathic. In the US, it's 1 in 100. Most are not criminals or in prison, but the damage they do is disproportionate. Hopefully this video will help to protect your own mental well-being.